Welcome back to Mr. Share. Today, we're not just imagining gigantic prehistoric creatures coexisting with humans, but we're taking this story to a whole new level with a mysterious invention. Picture this. A brilliant scientist has invented a portal capable of opening a gateway to the past. However, something went wrong. Instead of operating safely for a short period, the portal malfunctioned, spun out of control, and unintentionally brought gigantic prehistoric creatures back into our modern world. Imagine it. T-Rexes, long-necked dinosaurs, and even massive crocodiles from millions of years ago suddenly appearing in the middle of a bustling city. How would humans handle these creatures, and could we possibly contain the wildly malfunctioning portal? Are you curious to see how our world would change? Don't miss this video. Watch until the end to explore a new world filled with mysteries and unexpected dangers. A world where the past and present blend in ways no one could foresee. A prehistoric creature stalking the ocean depths. An ancient, mysterious creature twice the size of a T-Rex lurks in the ocean's depths. Its massive jaws could crush a car with ease, and perhaps it's on the hunt for you. The Megalodon went extinct over 2 million years ago, but imagine if we revived these apex predators. Some people believe the Megalodon never actually went extinct. They speculate these gigantic sharks may still be alive in the ocean's deepest, most hidden spots, like the Mariana Trench, a place few dare to explore. But you won't find a Megalodon there because they actually hate cold water. Instead, these giants would prefer the warm waters of the Mediterranean and the Caribbean, where they could roam beaches like Australia and California. If the Megalodon was still around, it might ruin your beach holiday. And if you found yourself in its sights while swimming, don't worry, it wouldn't attack immediately. It all depends on your size. The diet of a giant predator. Megalodons needed an enormous amount of food to survive, given their massive size, at least 16 meters in length. Scientists estimate they might have consumed up to 12 kilograms of fish daily to meet their vast caloric needs. They even preyed on marine mammals, like whales and dolphins. If you're just a small human, you probably wouldn't make much of a main course unless you're with a big group. Then the Megalodon's feast might begin. The fangs of the deep sea. Here's a fun fact. Megalodons had large, razor-sharp teeth, each the size of your hand. Unlike us, Megalodons' teeth never stopped growing. Every week or two, they'd grow a fresh set. Over their lifetime, they could have cycled through up to 40,000 teeth. And if they hadn't gone extinct, you'd find those giant teeth scattered across the ocean floor. What if the Megalodon returned? Even though humans aren't on a Megalodon's menu, its enormous appetite would still be a problem. With a new giant predator in the ocean, there wouldn't be much fish left for us. Not because fishing boats couldn't catch anything, but because the Megalodon would be devouring everything it could. No one's certain why the Megalodon vanished. Perhaps the oceans got too cold. But now, with climate change warming the seas, they might find it comfortable again. They'd flourish, appearing everywhere, disrupting maritime activities, and maybe even pushing the cruise industry to the brink. Eventually, they might go extinct again after devouring everything in the ocean, leaving nothing to feed on. Are you ready for a real-life Jurassic world? Exciting, right? Imagine bringing back some of Earth's most dangerous creatures. If we could revive dinosaurs, would you want to know what life would be like with them walking around again? Remember, just like in Jurassic Park, things don't always go as planned. Reviving these creatures isn't easy, and the consequences might be more unpredictable than we think. So, are you ready for a taste of danger? The Mosasaur sea lizard. But if the Mosasaur, a massive sea lizard, had survived the extinction event that wiped out 3/4 of Earth's species, we would certainly know it. It would have completely transformed the oceans and our use of them. If mosasaurs still roamed the seas, Megalodon might never have appeared. But how could one creature have such a huge impact? This terrifying sea creature was a giant lizard, like a Komodo dragon on land, but evolved for ocean life. Its body structure made it a dangerous predator. Imagine a monster lizard with double-hinged jaws like a snake, huge teeth, and a shark-like tail. They could reach lengths of up to 18 meters, 4 meters longer than an average yellow school bus. They'd eat almost anything. Fish, dolphins, sharks, whales, and even other mosasaurs weren't safe from them. Fossils of these creatures have been found across continents, even in Antarctica, proving these lizard kings once dominated the oceans during the Cretaceous period. Not all were terrifying. Some species were only around a meter long. So how did they become so fearsome? Their ancestors were more like today's marine iguanas from the Galapagos Islands. Around 90 million years ago, these lizards entered the oceans in search of food. At first, they stayed near shore, but as they evolved, they came to call the vast open oceans their home. Strong tail vertebrae evolution made them fast, agile swimmers, allowing them to venture far from shore. However, they stayed near the surface because, like dolphins and whales, they needed to breathe air. It only took 27 million years for the mosasaur, as depicted in Jurassic Park, to evolve. Of course, the mosasaur in the movie isn't entirely accurate. A real mosasaur would be smaller than the one in the film, but it would still be very dangerous. If it existed today, it would radically change our oceans. But why would it change the oceans, and how would it affect our use of them? Many marine species we know today probably wouldn't exist if mosasaurs inhabited the seas. They'd have no chance against this formidable predator. Instead, fish and marine mammals would look and act very differently. They'd have to develop unique traits and strategies to evade the mosasaur. An ecological theory suggests predators drive evolution because they force prey to adapt quickly. In fact, a 2007 study found that marine biodiversity over hundreds of millions of years is closely tied to predator-prey interactions. So if the mosasaur were still around, our oceans might be even more diverse. And what about humans? This giant lizard would make the oceans a much more dangerous place for us. We'd need larger ships, since small fishing boats and sailboats could be entirely swallowed by this creature. Ocean activities like boating or fishing would be rare, and swimming or surfing would become life-threatening. Perhaps Moby Dick would tell the tale of a fearsome mosasaur instead of a whale. Thankfully, mosasaurs aren't alive today, or our oceans would look very different. And that's something we should be grateful for. Tyrannosaurus rex, the king of the tyrant lizards, standing 6 meters tall, about 12 meters long, and weighing over 7 tons, T-Rex was truly a colossal predator of nature. Escape from it? Maybe. Outrun it? Possibly. But could you live every day in fear, waiting for the moment you'd be stomped on, clawed, or devoured? What if we had to live alongside T-Rex? Would we have to keep them in zoos, serve T-Rex on the menu at restaurants, or wear their fashionable feathers while living in constant fear of being stalked by one? Around 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid, roughly 15 kilometers in diameter, struck Earth with the force of millions of nuclear bombs exploding simultaneously. This impact not only created catastrophe, but also led to a mass extinction, wiping out around 75% of plant and animal species, including the Lord of the Land, T-Rex. As one of the most popular prehistoric animals, meeting a living T-Rex is certainly a dream for many. But if T-Rex were still alive, would we really want to share the planet with it? If T-Rex were alive, a giant threat or an endangered species? In the modern world, T-Rex would likely be an endangered species. As fearsome as it is, T-Rex would face many new challenges, like habitat loss, pollution, and food scarcity caused by humans. T-Rex populations would likely decline dramatically and might even evolve to be smaller to adapt. Wildlife reserves would be the ideal home for them, where they'd be safe from poachers eager for the thrill and bragging rights of bringing down a 7-ton beast. Even if you wisely kept your distance, a hungry T-Rex might still wander onto a farm or stray into a city zoo. Can you imagine the sight of a bus on legs with dagger-like teeth appearing in the middle of the street? With a bite force of up to 50,800 kilograms, this nightmare would be enough to crush anything in its path. But wait, T-Rex wasn't always a human hunter. Scientific evidence suggests that T-Rex may have been a scavenger, not just a pure predator. Its formidable appearance might make it seem like an extinction machine, but with tiny, oddly sized arms, it wasn't exactly a master of hand-to-hand combat. T-Rex's sense of smell, however, was a different story. Its large olfactory bulbs helped it detect carrion from far away. This means a hungry T-Rex might be drawn to farms or meat processing plants on the outskirts of town, a recipe for disaster. With a single bite capable of consuming 230 kilograms of meat, any livestock in the vicinity wouldn't last long. And if you want to protect your herd or simply stop a T-Rex from smashing your house, you'll need a gun, or else you'd better run fast. T-Rex could reach speeds of up to 16 kilometers per hour, not the fastest, but quick enough to chase you into the forest where you might just escape. Living with T-Rex, a dream or a mirage? In reality, keeping T-Rex in reserves, creating suitable habitats, and providing a food supply would be the best approach to ensure this species' survival without endangering humans. But forget about Jurassic Park-style parks. We've all seen how that could fail spectacularly. Still, with enough space, food, and proper management, we could dream of a day when we'd get to see T-Rex in the flesh without the risk. A slight shift in the asteroid's trajectory, and things could have turned out very differently. If dinosaurs hadn't gone extinct, would they have evolved over time? Would humans have the chance to coexist with these giants? And could we ever learn to live peacefully with them? The rock that ended the dinosaur era. Around 66 million years ago, a giant asteroid crashed into the shallow waters of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, marking the end of the dinosaur era. But if it had struck deeper water, the ocean might have absorbed some of the blast's power, reducing the catastrophic impact on the atmosphere. Imagine if that asteroid had missed Earth. Dinosaurs would still face a series of brutal challenges to survive to this day. Around 55 million years ago, Earth's temperatures skyrocketed, making the climate around 8 degrees Celsius warmer than today. Rainforests started covering much of the land, and plant-eating species adapted to survive. Plants from this period were less nutritious and easier to digest, meaning dinosaurs would likely shrink over time due to a diet no longer rich in energy. Then, 20 million years later, South America and Antarctica separated, causing the climate to cool and dry out. Vast grasslands emerged, and long-legged swift dinosaurs began evolving to dominate these open fields. Compared to mammals at the time, dinosaurs had an advantage, more teeth and better eyesight, as if they were fine-tuned for survival. Scientists even wonder, if dinosaurs hadn't gone extinct, would mammals have had the chance to evolve? Perhaps instead of dominating, today's large animals would just be light snacks for dinosaurs. But remember, humans once faced furry giants like mammoths and saber-toothed cats. These creatures couldn't survive the Ice Age 2.6 million years ago. But with certain evolutionary traits, dinosaurs might have been able to. And what about us? Could humans manage in harsh climates with massive, fierce predators? Running might help keep us warm, but could also make us an easy, free lunch. If we did end up coexisting with these prehistoric creatures, perhaps we'd see a real, living T-Rex in wildlife reserves, a true Jurassic Park. Overhunting and population growth would bring large dinosaur species to the brink of extinction, and they'd certainly be on the endangered list. But smaller dinosaur species, after millions of years of evolution, might adapt and coexist with us peacefully. In fact, some still do. Where do you think pigeons come from? Hard to believe, but it's true. These birds once shared distant ancestry with dinosaur warriors as large as airplanes. One small change in fate, and we could be living alongside dinosaurs or become their lunch and never even know human evolution. Titanoboa, the giant snake that once ruled the Earth around 60 million years ago, the largest snake to have ever existed, reigned over Earth, Titanoboa. This colossal snake hunted lizards, birds, and even crocodiles. But what if this creature still existed today? How much food would it need, and would it be a threat to humans? Discovered in Colombia, Titanoboa cerriginensis was around 15 meters long and weighed over 1,000 kilograms, almost 3 times the size of a giant anaconda. With a body circumference of roughly 1 meter, Titanoboa would stand as high as an adult's waist. Luckily, or unluckily, you'd likely encounter Titanoboa while fishing or swimming, as water movement is far easier for massive creatures like this snake and whales compared to land. Though it couldn't live in trees, this snake might occasionally venture inland. Scientists believe Titanoboa belonged to the non-venomous boa family, which sounds safer. But Titanoboa could still latch onto its prey using hooked teeth that would sink in deeper with every struggle. After catching its prey, Titanoboa would constrict, cutting off blood flow to the prey's heart and brain, causing oxygen deprivation and ultimately death. Fossils show Titanoboa's lower jaw extended past its skull, allowing a wide range of jaw movement and making it easier to swallow its prey whole. Titanoboa may have hunted giant turtles and primitive crocodiles up to 6 meters long. With its massive size, a single Titanoboa would need about 40 kilograms of food daily, double what an anaconda needs. And given its ease of movement in water, humans could be an appealing snack. Although many places like Australia have coexisted with dangerous snakes, Titanoboa's enormous size would dwarf any known species. Titanoboa thrived in hot, humid environments like the Amazon rainforest, as reptiles depend on external temperatures for survival. Around 58 million years ago, Titanoboa lived in an environment roughly 5 degrees warmer than today's climate, so we might expect to find it in places like Asia or perhaps Florida, warm and humid for much of the year. With a body the size of a small car, Titanoboa could easily hide in swamps or lakes, lying in wait for prey. In Florida, where alligators are often seen lounging by golf course ponds, Titanoboa might be drawn to this abundant food source. And if alligators aren't on the menu, perhaps the golfers would be. You might wonder if there's any upside to having Titanoboa around. Surprisingly, yes, pest control, nuisances like raccoons, deer, or any other animals rummaging through your trash wouldn't be a problem with Titanoboa on guard. Although Titanoboa is extinct, we still recommend steering clear of giant snakes. Watch out, after millions of years, T-Rex is back. Facing this giant creature, what could you possibly do to survive? And have you ever wondered what would happen if it actually took a bite out of you? In the late Cretaceous period, around 66 million years ago, T-Rex was one of the largest carnivores ever to exist. Its full name, Tyrannosaurus rex, means king of the tyrant lizards, and it earned that title. Standing up to 6 meters tall, with the most powerful bite force among land animals, T-Rex was the ultimate predator of its time, roaming what is now the western United States. Now somehow it's back and hunting you. The serene park scenery vanishes as you look up to see a towering T-Rex. Frozen with fear, you can only take in its mighty tail that balances the massive head, its muscular neck, and overly powerful thighs, and you might wish you hadn't skipped leg day at the gym. While we don't recommend this, you might even laugh at its tiny arms with only 2 fingers. But the amusement won't last long when T-Rex opens its mouth to reveal enormous teeth, each up to 30 centimeters long. If you're a Jurassic Park fan, you might think staying still is the best escape plan. But research shows that T-Rex's vision was sharp, possibly even better than a modern eagle's. Time to run. Fortunately, you don't have to sprint like a race car. Even the world's fastest runner, Usain Bolt, at his top speed of 44 kilometers per hour, couldn't outrun this beast. However, you might still have a chance, as scientists believe T-Rex could only reach an average speed of 25 to 40 kilometers per hour. Any faster, and its legs might break. Some researchers even think T-Rex could only walk at a leisurely pace of 5 kilometers per hour, not much faster than a soft-shell turtle. With this knowledge, you could safely jog a decent distance from the pursuing T-Rex. But don't stop to catch your breath just yet. Another T-Rex with an excellent sense of smell might have picked up your scent and decided to sample you. You'd feel excruciating pain and crushed bones as T-Rex applied its stab and pull technique, its jaw slicing through skin and bone in unbearable agony. The giant front teeth would latch on, tearing you apart, while the side teeth would shred meat from your body. The back teeth would drag you close to T-Rex's throat. Struggling would be useless, as T-Rex's teeth were strong enough to crush Triceratops. And it would get worse as its powerful neck muscles tossed you around, enough to fling a 50-kilogram chunk of meat 5 meters away. Sounds terrifying, doesn't it? So if you've ever dreamed of meeting a prehistoric creature, be prepared, as that encounter would be a gigantic nightmare. Still up for meeting a T-Rex? If we farm dinosaurs for food, Would you try a bite? As the population grows, so does the demand for food. So if we could resurrect dinosaurs, would you dare try a taste of dinosaur meat? Let's imagine how we might bring them back, how much they'd need to eat daily, and most importantly, which species would taste best. Dinosaurs left Earth 65 million years ago, but if we could bring them back, could we farm them like livestock? In Jurassic Park, scientists aim to revive dinosaurs. Did you know dinosaur DNA is most closely related to chicken DNA? However, unlike the movie, reviving dinosaurs is incredibly difficult. We'd need intact dinosaur DNA, which is harder to find than you'd think. How to reignite the dinosaur age? Suppose we found suitable dinosaur DNA, what would the next step be? Scientists have attempted to revive mammoths by reconstructing DNA from frozen specimens and inserting it into Asian elephant embryos, as they share 99% of their genetic sequence. To resurrect dinosaurs, we might try a similar technique with chicken eggs, placing them under a heater and waiting and hoping for a baby dinosaur to hatch. How much do dinosaurs eat? Once dinosaurs hatch, we'd have to feed them. But how much do dinosaurs eat? If you've seen Jurassic Park, you know dinosaur sizes and food needs vary widely. For example, Brachiosaurus, a plant-eating dinosaur, weighed about 4 kilograms at birth but could grow up to 56 tons, equal to 120 cows. An adult Brachiosaurus would need roughly 400 kilograms of food daily, the equivalent of 16 dairy cows. Which dinosaur would be the tastiest? Now for the exciting part, which dinosaur might taste the best? It's hard to say, but if we go by our usual meats, plant-eating dinosaurs might have better tasting meat. Meat from carnivores like T-Rex might have a strange flavor. Dinosaurs are distant relatives of birds, so fast-moving dinosaurs might have white meat. T-Rex meat might resemble ostrich. If you prefer seafood, perhaps fish-eating dinosaurs would taste like fish. Plucking a dinosaur, just imagine the effort. Interestingly, recent studies suggest that T-Rex and some other species had feathers. So if we farmed dinosaurs for food, imagine plucking a T-Rex. It'd be nothing like plucking a chicken. A T-Rex fossil shows feathers up to 1 meter long. Although reviving dinosaurs sounds far-fetched, if it were to happen, the consequences would likely exceed our expectations, as in Jurassic Park. And if you think about it, we've already eaten distant relatives of dinosaurs, chickens. They're much smaller, but taste-wise, they're fantastic, aren't they? What would happen if Spinosaurus still existed? Have you ever wondered why crocodiles seem to spend more time on land lately? Is it because their water habitats are too polluted, or is there an even more terrifying predator lurking below, an ancient dinosaur thought to be extinct, still alive and prowling? Meet Spinosaurus, a fearsome giant even larger than T-Rex, a swimming enthusiast and more than ready to devour anyone who dares to invade its territory. If we had to live alongside these river monsters, would life still be the same? Spinosaurus lived around 95 million years ago, stretching up to 18 meters long and weighing about 20 tons, making it the largest predator ever to roam the Nile River region. If, by some miracle, it survived the extinction event, it might still be swimming there today, and Egypt would be a very different place. Could the ancient Egyptians have continued to rely on the Nile for food and transport? Would they have found a way to coexist peacefully with this giant river monster or fought tooth and nail to protect their sacred river? Spinosaurus had a long tail, which provided powerful thrust in the water, making escape from it while swimming nearly impossible. However, on land, things were different. It was clumsy and not well adapted. You might think, just avoid the water, right? Not quite, because we wouldn't be the only ones afraid of this beast. Crocodiles in the Nile region would likely relocate to land if Spinosaurus still lived in the waters. This shift would make the land along the Nile far more dangerous. Crocodiles on land would hunt small mammals and force humans to be even more vigilant. Imagine taking a stroll along the river only to face both crocodiles and Spinosaurus, a true survival challenge. If Spinosaurus did exist, the history and culture of ancient Egypt might be drastically different. Egyptians would have had to devise ways to protect themselves and the precious fish resources of the river. The image of Spinosaurus might appear in ancient Egyptian art, depicting how they hunted or drove off these massive dinosaurs, a monumental achievement. Over time, we might even hunt Spinosaurus not only to protect ourselves, but also for fashion and sport. Think crocodile leather shoes are the peak. Just wait until you see sandals made from Spinosaurus skin. Eventually, any remaining Spinosaurus could be hunted to near extinction. At that point, would they be protected as endangered species? Or would people breathe a sigh of relief at their disappearance? But before you start printing "Save the Spinosaurus" t-shirts, remember that this scenario is purely fictional. Spinosaurus, like other dinosaurs, was almost certainly wiped out during the mass extinction event. Even if some had survived, they would have struggled without sufficient food. Perhaps this is for the best. While the idea of coexisting with dinosaurs is exciting, if massive dinosaurs still existed, the world would be vastly different. Wildlife, plant life, and ancient civilizations would all have had to adapt to survive alongside such enormous creatures. If these creatures were still around, our world today would look nothing like it does. Can you imagine life with them? It would undoubtedly be a dramatic, thrilling, but also terrifying scenario. If you enjoyed this imaginative story, don't forget to leave a like, share this video with friends, and subscribe to Mr. Share to never miss more fascinating content. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.